Hey guys, do you want to know what Tony Robbins' best advice is on how to negotiate powerfully? I'm going to be sharing that with you in today's video. Hey, so I'm Rebecca Zung, and I'm an attorney, and I am a best-selling author, and I help people negotiate with narcissists. So if that's you in your personal life, in your business life, then make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. All right, let's talk about Tony Robbins' best negotiation advice. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought about the difference in your choice of words? Like when you say you must do something or you should do something. I mean, that's definitely something that he's talked about. It's a huge difference. And so what Tony actually says is it's like the major difference in anyone's life on how they end up having a quality of life, what that looks like. It's like there's certain things that are musts for people and there's certain things that are not. And that's really the difference between having an ordinary life and an extraordinary life. To have an extraordinary life, you have to have what he calls an extraordinary psychology, and you must be in an extraordinary state. You basically have to condition your nervous system. You have to condition your neuronal patterns. You have to condition yourself to feeling everything that it is that you want to have, because you've got to have like certain standards. Otherwise, why is it that not everybody has the life that they want, right? I mean, it's because certain people understand this and other people do not. And so I'm sharing this secret with you right now. You don't get your goals, you get your standards. And what Tony's advice is life will pay for you or pay you whatever it is that you ask of it. And I'm going to give you an example of this. So many years ago, when I was starting my law practice on my own, and I had been working for other people before that. So I go to, go on out on my own. I'm setting up the firm. I'm getting everything put in place. I'm getting my lease paid. I'm getting, an occupational license. I'm getting my malpractice insurance all set up, doing all the things that I needed to do to set up my firm. And at that time, I also hired a business coach. And that business coach gave me this assignment to come up with what it was that I wanted to make over the first year of my firm being open. Okay, so she gives me that assignment. I go off for the week. The next week we get back together and she says, okay, what do you got for me? Have you done my homework? How much do you want to make next year? How much is the firm going to make? What are your expenses? How much do you want to bring home? How much do you want to end up actually having in your pocket so that you walk home with? And I said, yep, okay, I've done the work. And I flipped through my notebook and I said, all right, I've done the homework and I've figured out how much our bills are, and this is how much my husband makes, and this is what our monthly nut is, and all the things that we got to pay for kids and everything else. And this is how much is the absolute minimum that I have to make. This is how much I have to make in order for us to make it. So that's how much I want to make. And I remember her looking at me and just kind of blinking. And she said, after a pause, this dramatic kind of pause, and she said, do you want to just make it? Or do you actually want to make money? And I remember being so taken aback by that because no one had ever asked me anything like that before. I had never been posed the question of, do you just want to make it, or do you actually want to make money? And I remember saying, well, I'd like to make money. Like it almost was like I was almost apologizing for it. Like, I'd like to make money. Sure. Who wouldn't want to make money? And she was like, okay, so what is this scarcity mentality? Right? Like, if you want to make money, write it down on there that you're making money. Like, let's put the goal down that you're going to make money. And I was just remember feeling like it was so foreign to me in a lot of ways. Like, I don't know what that means exactly. Like, okay, I guess I'm writing down here that I'm making money. Yeah, sure. And I mean, how much should I put down that I'm going to make $100 million? Like, what should I put down? And so she made me actually like look at it in terms of, okay, well, if you want to make this much money, let's back into it. Let's figure that out. How many clients do you need to talk to? How many people do you need to talk to who then turn into potential clients, who then turn into actual clients, who then turn into people who pay? Like, let's back into that. What does that look like for you to make the amount of money that you would like to make in this firm? So I went ahead and did that. And would you believe, like, I actually not only made the goal that I thought was super lofty at the time, I made even more than that because I really held myself to account for it. I made it a must. I made it a standard, one that I had to achieve no matter what. Like, okay, how am I going to get there now? I've created this. How am I going to get there? I just made that decision. I love the fact that the word decide has the side part of it, because side actually means to kill, which is like you're killing off anything else that could possibly be, any other possibilities. You're going to decide that this is how it's going to go. And that becomes your must instead of a should. And I've also heard people say you should all over yourself, right? Like, because that's definitely what can happen when you're like shoulding all the time. Plus, when you should all the time, you're feeling like a failure all the time. I should be doing this, but I'm not. I should lose weight, but I'm not. I shouldn't be spending this money. I should do this. I should get up. I should, and then you just feel like, ugh, I'm not doing anything. But if you do a must and then you actually follow through with it, now you're feeling those small wins, right? And if you want to know more about how to have like that positive mindset, I definitely recommend you check out my interview with Bob Proctor, because like that is so key on your mindset and how you can actually start to feel like you can win. Definitely check out that video. And while we're at it, I want you to comment below. I'm going to have you comment something, and it's going to be, I must win. I must win. Not I should, not I want, not I'm going to try. None of that weak language. It's going to be, I must win. And I want to see that in the comments below. And by the way, once you start training your brain, once you start conditioning it, you're going to start to feel better. And once you start to feel better, you'll start to do better. You'll start to manifest more things. I love the story of Jim Carrey. I don't know if you guys have heard this story, but so Jim Carrey talks, it's a really kind of famous story, but he talks about how he like wrote a check out to himself for like $20 million or something. And he didn't have two nickels to rub together at that time. I mean, he had nothing. And he was like, I'm writing a check out to myself for 20 million. And that's how much I'm going to make in one movie. Right. And so he writes the check out, puts it in his wallet. He like looks at it. He carries it around all the time. And like, so the fact that he's got it in his wallet, he's carrying it around, he's thinking about it. Now he's starting to shift. Now he's starting to get that power of the universe to line up and conspire for him. And within just a few years of him doing that, he ends up making this 20 million for, I think it was for The Mask or for one of his movies, and like, there he is, he's achieved it. He's manifested it. It became a must for him. It became a standard, no longer a goal. no longer a should, but a must. So just remember that life will pay any price that you ask of it, but you have to ask for it, and you have to ask for it specifically. You can't just go into a restaurant and tell the waiter that you want food. You have to tell the waiter exactly what it is that you want, how you want your steak, what you want on the side, what you want the salad, no croutons, lettuce, this kind of lettuce, the dressing on the side, like whatever it is, you're really, really specific. And that's how you have to be when you're manifesting things as well. And especially in a negotiation. Remember that clarity is power. So ask specifically and precisely. And if you can't do that, you're not going to be able to get and manifest what it is that you want. And make sure you know why you want what you want. If you have reasons that are compelling, it will give you that drive to keep going, even when your brain is telling you to give up. But most importantly, ask. So what is Tony Robbins' best advice for negotiating? Life will pay you whatever price you ask of it. All right. So if you are getting ready to negotiate, make sure to grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com and join my free private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. If you like this video, give it a like, give it a share, drop me a comment, and make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm so glad that you stopped by today. And remember, today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. And I will see you in the next video.